Welcome to this exciting video where we explore the top 4 most valuable Washington quarter-dollar coins, historic silver quarters that have become true treasures in the world of coin collecting. While many Washington quarters are common, a few rare dates and era varieties are worth an incredible amount of money. Let's get started. First up, the 1967 Washington quarter dollar, a piece that might look ordinary at first glance but hides a fascinating story that every collector and treasure hunter should understand. The 1967 Washington quarter was struck during a very unusual time in American coin history, when the United States Mint was facing a massive coin shortage and had to make dramatic changes to production, and because of this situation, no mint marks were placed on coins from 1965 through 1967, meaning that even though this coin has no mint mark, it does not automatically mean it is rare, but that detail alone makes it historically unique. This quarter features the timeless portrait of George Washington, the first President of the United States, whose profile was originally designed by John Flanagan and has become one of the most recognizable images in American coinage, symbolizing leadership, strength, and the foundation of the nation itself. On the reverse side, you will find the classic eagle design, wings spread wide in a powerful stance, clutching arrows and olive branches, representing both readiness for defense and the desire for peace, a design that remained on quarters for decades before the state quarter program ever began. Now let's talk about composition, because this is where the 1967 quarter becomes especially interesting, as it was part of the early years of the clad coinage era, meaning it was no longer made of 90% silver like earlier quarters, but instead composed of a copper core sandwiched between layers of nickel, a change that shocked collectors at the time. Even though it contains no silver, the 1967 Washington quarter can still carry significant value depending on condition, rarity of errors, and overall eye appeal, especially when we examine coins that have survived in exceptional states or display dramatic mint mistakes. Today we are focusing specifically on a color dirty circulated condition example, and that phrase alone tells us a story, because a dirty circulated coin has clearly lived a long and active life, showing wear on Washington's hair, flattening on the eagle's feathers, and darkened toning from years of exposure. Circulation wear on this coin often appears on the high points of the design, particularly Washington's cheekbone and the top of his hair ribbon, while on the reverse the eagle's chest and wing tips typically show smoothing first, giving us clues about how heavily the coin traveled through commerce. Many people assume that a dirty circulated coin cannot possibly be valuable, but seasoned collectors know that value is not always about shine, because sometimes rarity comes from something far more subtle, such as striking errors, die varieties, or unique mint characteristics. During the mid-1960s, the mint dramatically increased production numbers to combat hoarding and coin shortages, leading to massive output. Yet the rush to produce coins also created opportunities for errors like double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and other fascinating varieties. When examining a 1967 quarter carefully under magnification, collectors often look for doubling in the lettering of Liberty or In God We Trust, as well as unusual spacing in the date or anomalies in Washington's profile that might indicate a rare die variety. Another key factor that influences value is eye appeal, and even a dirty circulated example can develop attractive natural toning over time, with shades of gray, charcoal, and even subtle blues or gold hues forming across the surface, creating a character that polished coins sometimes lack. The absence of a mint mark on the 1967 quarter is often misunderstood, because during these specific years the mint intentionally removed mint marks from all circulating coins to discourage collectors from hoarding specific issues, so every genuine 1967 quarter will appear without a mint mark. Collectors also pay attention to strike quality, as some 1967 quarters were weakly struck due to high-speed production, meaning details in the eagle's feathers or Washington's hair might appear soft even on coins that did not see heavy circulation. When determining value, grading becomes extremely important, because a coin in low circulated grade may only be worth face value, but if a coin is discovered in high uncirculated condition or with a dramatic mint error, its value can increase dramatically. Professional grading services carefully examine surface preservation, luster, strike sharpness, and any signs of cleaning or damage, and even small differences in grade can mean significant differences in market price. For a dirty circulated 1967 Washington quarter with normal wear and no special errors, the value is generally modest, often only worth its face value of 25 cents, which surprises many new collectors who expect older coins to automatically be rare. However, when a 1967 quarter displays a rare and dramatic mint error, such as a strong double die obverse or a significant off-center strike while still showing readable date details, the market demand increases considerably. Coins with full details and minimal distractions, even if lightly circulated, can attract attention from collectors who specialize in the transitional clad era of the mid-1960s, a period that marked the end of silver circulating coinage. The historical significance of the 1967 quarter lies in its place within the coin shortage era, when Americans were pulling silver coins from circulation and the mint was racing to modernize its production methods to keep commerce moving smoothly. Because so many 1967 quarters were produced, most examples remain common today, but condition rarity plays a role, and finding a truly pristine example straight from an old bankroll can still be an exciting discovery. Dirty circulated coins sometimes hide under layers of grime that mask important details, so careful but proper evaluation is necessary, and collectors must avoid harsh cleaning because cleaning can permanently damage the surface and reduce value. Some collectors enjoy searching through rolls of quarters from banks, hoping to uncover overlooked treasures, and while the odds may be low, stories of rare error coins discovered in pocket change continue to fuel excitement in the hobby. The Washington Quarter series itself remains one of the longest-running designs in American history, eventually transitioning into the State Quarters, America the Beautiful series, and beyond, but the classic eagle reverse remains deeply nostalgic for many collectors. Holding a 1967 Washington Quarter in your hand connects you to a time of social change, economic challenges, and minting innovation, a time when the nation was shifting away from precious metal coinage and entering a new era of clad production. Collectors often recommend examining coins under good lighting and magnification, checking both sides carefully, rotating the coin to catch reflections that may reveal doubling, die cracks, or unusual surface textures. Even though most 1967 quarters in dirty circulated condition are common, the possibility of a rare variety keeps the hunt alive. Specimen with a significant mint error and strong collector demand has been known to reach values as high as $45,000. Next up, the 1995 Washington Quarter with the D mint mark, a piece of everyday American currency that might still be sitting quietly in a jar, a drawer, or even your pocket right now. The 1995 Washington Quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, which is represented by the small D mint mark located on the obverse side of the coin near George Washington's ponytail, a tiny letter that carries significant meaning because it tells us exactly where this coin was produced. When you first look at a 1995 D quarter in red circulated condition, you might notice something slightly unusual about the color, because quarters are typically clad coins with a silvery appearance, yet sometimes they can develop a reddish or coppery tone due to toning, environmental exposure, or circulation where that reveals hints of the copper core along the edge. The obverse of the coin features the classic portrait of George Washington, a design that has been part of American coinage since 1932, created by sculptor John Flanagan, and his profile remains one of the most recognizable images in the history of United States currency. On the reverse side, the 1995 quarter still carries the traditional eagle design, wings stretched wide, perched proudly above a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath, symbolizing both strength and peace, a powerful emblem that remained in use until the state quarter program began in 1999. By 1995, the Washington Quarter was already composed of a copper core sandwiched between outer layers of nickel, meaning it contained no silver, yet collectors still search through these modern-clad coins because rarity is not always about precious metal content. A red circulated condition example suggests that the coin has been in use but may display a distinctive coppery toning or coloration, often caused by oxidation or environmental factors, which can make the coin stand out visually compared to typical gray-toned quarters. In circulated condition, you will likely see wear on Washington's cheek, jawline, and hair detail, while the reverse eagle's chest feathers and wingtips may appear slightly flattened from years of handling and exchange. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of quarters in 1995, so at first glance this coin seems extremely common, and in most cases it is indeed a regular circulation piece worth face value. However, the true excitement begins when we look beyond mintage numbers and start examining error varieties, because even common-date coins can become incredibly valuable if they exhibit rare and dramatic mint mistakes. Collectors of modern quarters carefully inspect coins for double dies, especially in the lettering of Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date, because strong doubling can significantly increase desirability and value. Another important factor is strike quality, as some 1995 D quarters were struck with exceptional sharpness, showing crisp hair strands on Washington and fully detailed feathers on the eagle, features that stand out even in circulated examples. A red circulated quarter might also attract attention if the toning is natural and evenly distributed, creating a visually appealing surface that gives the coin character and individuality compared to standard examples. When examining the edge of the coin, you may notice the copper core more prominently if the outer nickel layers have worn slightly, and this can contribute to the reddish appearance that makes some pieces look unique. Although most 1995 D quarters in circulated condition are only worth 25 cents, coins in higher uncirculated grades can carry modest premiums, especially if certified by professional grading services. Grading plays a crucial role in determining value, because even a small difference in surface preservation, luster, and detail can separate an ordinary coin from one that collectors are willing to pay significantly more for. Error coins from 1995, such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, broad strikes, or dramatic die cracks, are especially sought after by collectors who specialize in modern mint errors. Some rare double die varieties have been discovered in modern quarters, and while they are not common, they demonstrate that even recent coins can surprise the market with unexpected value. The red coloration itself does not automatically increase value, but if it results from unique minting circumstances or creates exceptional eye appeal, it can make the coin more attractive to certain collectors. Many coin enthusiasts enjoy searching through rolls of quarters from banks, carefully inspecting each coin under bright light and magnification, hoping to find that one rare variety that others overlooked. The Washington Quarter Series has been one of the longest-running designs in American history, evolving over decades while maintaining the familiar portrait of the nation's first president. By 1995, the quarter had already become deeply embedded in daily American life, used in vending machines, parking meters, arcade games, and countless transactions across the country. Holding a 1995D Washington Quarter connects you to the mid-1990s, a time of technological growth, cultural shifts, and economic expansion in the United States. Even though it may seem like just spare change, the possibility of discovering a rare error variety transforms an ordinary coin into an exciting treasure hunt opportunity. Collectors always advise against cleaning coins, because cleaning can permanently damage the surface and drastically reduce potential value, especially if the coin turns out to be a rare variety. Instead, proper storage in protective holders helps preserve the coin's condition and prevents further environmental toning or damage. Market value for modern quarters depends heavily on rarity, condition, and collector demand, and auction records often show that exceptional examples can command impressive prices. While the vast majority of 1995D quarters in red circulated condition remain common and worth face value, the rare combination of high grade, strong eye appeal, and significant mint error can transform this everyday coin into something extraordinary. Stories of modern quarters discovered in circulation and later authenticated as valuable error coins continue to inspire collectors to keep searching through their change. The thrill of possibly finding a hidden gem among ordinary coins keeps the hobby alive and exciting for both beginners and experienced numismatists. So the next time you come across a 1995 Washington Quarter with a D mint mark and a noticeable red circulated tone, take a closer look, examine every detail carefully, and remember that sometimes value hides in plain sight. Because while most examples are worth only 25 cents, a rare and exceptional specimen with a dramatic mint error and outstanding condition has been known to reach values as high as $45,000. Next up, the 1994 Washington Quarter with a D mint mark, a modern classic that proves even everyday pocket change can carry a story worth telling. The 1994 Washington Quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, which is identified by the small D mint mark located on the obverse side of the coin just to the right of George Washington's ponytail, and that tiny letter immediately tells collectors where this coin began its journey. At first glance, a 1994 D quarter in circulated condition may appear completely ordinary, showing light to moderate wear on the highest points of the design, with softened details on Washington's cheek and hair and slight flattening on the eagle's feathers on the reverse. The obverse design features the familiar left-facing portrait of George Washington, a design introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of his birth, and since then it has become one of the most recognized coin portraits in the world. On the reverse side, the powerful heraldic eagle spreads its wings proudly, clutching arrows and olive branches, symbolizing the nation's readiness for defense while maintaining its commitment to peace, a design that remained in use until the State Quarter Series began in 1999. By 1994, the Washington Quarter was composed of a copper core layered between nickel outer surfaces, giving the coin its silver-colored appearance while eliminating silver from its composition decades earlier, making it a durable and practical coin for everyday circulation. A circulated example of this coin tells a story of movement and exchange, passing through countless transactions, vending machines, cash registers, and hands, gradually developing small scratches, contact marks, and subtle changes in tone. Collectors examining a 1994 D quarter in circulated condition typically focus on the amount of detail remaining in Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers, as well as the overall eye appeal and absence of severe damage such as deep gouges or corrosion. While the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of these quarters, making them common in general terms, rarity can still emerge through mint errors or exceptional preservation. Modern quarters like the 1994D are often overlooked because they lack silver content, yet the world of numismatics has repeatedly shown that value is not determined by age or metal alone, but by scarcity, condition, and unique characteristics. Some collectors specialize in searching for double die varieties, carefully inspecting the date and lettering such as Liberty and In God We Trust for signs of noticeable doubling that occurred during the die creation process. Other potential errors include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, and broad strikes, each of which can dramatically increase the interest and value of an otherwise common coin. Even in circulated condition, a coin that displays a bold and dramatic error can capture significant attention at auctions and among collectors who focus specifically on mint mistakes. Circulated coins often show a mix of light gray toning with darker areas in recessed parts of the design, creating contrast that can sometimes enhance visual appeal rather than diminish it. The edge of the coin reveals the copper core sandwiched between the nickel layers, especially if the coin has seen wear, adding a subtle two-tone appearance when viewed from the side. Although most 1994D quarters in circulated condition are worth only their face value of 25 cents, higher-grade examples that avoided heavy wear can carry small premiums in the collector market. Professional grading services play an important role in determining a coin's official condition, carefully evaluating surface preservation, strike sharpness, luster remnants, and overall eye appeal before assigning a numerical grade. Even small differences in grade can mean large differences in price, especially for collectors building high-grade registry sets who compete to own the finest certified examples. The mid-1990s represent the final years before the introduction of the state quarter program, meaning the 1994D quarter is part of the classic eagle reverse era that many collectors feel nostalgic about today. Holding this coin is like holding a piece of everyday American life from the 1990s, a time of economic growth, technological advancement, and cultural change, all reflected in a simple yet enduring design. Many coin enthusiasts enjoy roll hunting, purchasing rolls of quarters from banks and carefully examining each one under magnification, hoping to discover an overlooked error or unusually well-preserved example. It is important to remember that cleaning a coin can significantly reduce its value, as collectors prefer original surfaces with natural wear rather than artificially brightened finishes. A circulated coin with honest wear often tells a more authentic story than one that has been altered, and originality is highly respected in the numismatic community. Market demand for modern-era coins has grown over the years, as more collectors recognize that valuable discoveries are not limited to centuries-old silver pieces. Auction records occasionally reveal surprising results for modern quarters with strong errors or exceptional grades, reminding collectors to never underestimate coins from recent decades. The 1994D Washington quarter may not appear rare at first glance, but the possibility of discovering a scarce variety or high-grade example keeps interest alive among both beginners and seasoned collectors. Collectors also value coins that display strong strikes, where fine details in Washington's hair and the eagle's plumage remain crisp and defined despite light circulation. The joy of coin collecting often lies in the search itself, the careful inspection, the research, and the excitement of uncovering something unexpected in what seemed ordinary. So the next time you receive a 1994 Washington quarter with a D mint mark in circulated condition, pause before spending it, examine its details, and consider the small but real possibility that it could be more than just pocket change. While most examples remain worth face value, a rare and extraordinary specimen with a dramatic mint error and exceptional collector demand has been known to reach values as high as $45,000. Next up, the 1972 Washington quarter without a mint mark, presented in very fine condition, a grade that tells a powerful story of use, preservation, and possibility. The 1972 Washington quarter without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, because during that era Philadelphia coins typically did not carry a mint mark, making the absence of a letter completely normal for this issue. At first glance, the coin appears familiar, featuring the classic left-facing portrait of George Washington, a design that had already been in circulation for 40 years by 1972 and had become one of the most recognizable coin images in American history. The portrait was designed by John Flanagan and has endured through generations, symbolizing leadership, stability, and the roots of the United States, and even in very fine condition, much of Washington's profile remains clearly visible. In very fine condition, this coin shows moderate wear on the highest points of the design, yet strong details are still present in Washington's hair, with distinct strands visible above the ear and around the ribbon at the back. On the reverse side, the majestic eagle spreads its wings wide, clutching arrows and olive branches, and in very fine grade, you can still see significant feather detail across the wings and chest, though some smoothing will be noticeable from circulation. By 1972, The quarter was firmly established as a clad coin composed of a pure copper core sandwiched between outer layers of nickel, meaning it contains no silver, yet its collecting value does not rely solely on precious metal content. The color of a very fine 1972 quarter often presents as a soft gray tone, sometimes accompanied by light golden or bluish hues depending on how it was stored over the years, adding character and depth to the surface. Philadelphia produced a large number of quarters in 1972, making it a common date overall, yet condition and mint errors can dramatically influence the value of individual coins. Collectors carefully examine the date and lettering, especially Liberty and In God We Trust, searching for signs of doubling or die variations that might distinguish an ordinary coin from a rare variety. Even in very fine condition, a coin with a noticeable doubled die can command significant interest because such varieties are not tied to metal content but to unique die production errors at the mint. The strike quality of 1972 quarters can vary, with some coins displaying sharper details in the eagle's feathers and Washington's hair, while others show softer features due to high-speed production methods. A very fine example strikes a balance between wear and preservation, showing that the coin circulated but was not excessively abused, retaining enough detail to remain visually appealing to collectors. One of the most important aspects of evaluating this coin is originality, as collectors strongly prefer coins that have not been cleaned, polished, or altered, since such actions can permanently reduce value. The edge of the coin reveals the copper core clearly, especially when viewed closely, providing a distinct contrast between the reddish interior and the nickel outer layers. The 1972 Washington quarter represents an era of American life marked by cultural shifts, economic adjustments, and global change, and holding this coin is like holding a small metallic witness to that time. Although most 1972 quarters without a mint mark in very fine condition are worth only a modest premium above face value, exceptional specimens or error coins can attract serious collector attention. Professional grading services assess coins based on surface preservation, strike detail, and overall eye appeal, and even within the very fine category, small differences in quality can impact desirability. Many collectors enjoy searching through old rolls of quarters or inherited collections, carefully checking each coin under magnification for overlooked varieties or unusual characteristics. The Washington Quarter series itself remains one of the longest-running coin designs in United States history, transitioning from silver to clad and eventually evolving into the state quarter program decades later. The very fine grade is especially appealing to collectors who appreciate coins that clearly show history but still retain strong detail, offering a perfect blend of character and clarity. When examining a 1972 quarter, collectors often rotate the coin under good lighting to detect subtle doubling, die cracks, or other anomalies that might not be visible at first glance. The market for modern era coins has grown steadily, proving that even coins from the 1970s can surprise collectors with unexpected value when rare characteristics are present. While the majority of circulated 1972 quarters remain common, the possibility of discovering a scarce variety keeps collectors motivated and engaged in the search. Coins with strong strikes and minimal distracting marks are generally more desirable, even if they fall within the same numerical grade as other examples. The thrill of coin collecting lies in careful observation, patience, and knowledge, understanding that value is often hidden in small details that others might overlook. A very fine 1972 Washington quarter without a mint mark may appear ordinary in a pile of change, but to a trained eye, it represents opportunity and potential. Collectors often recommend storing coins in protective holders to preserve their condition and prevent further wear or environmental damage. As with all coins, market value depends on rarity, condition, demand, and documented sales history, and auction records sometimes reveal surprising results for modern-era varieties. So if you come across a 1972 Washington quarter without a mint mark in very fine condition, take a closer look before spending it, because within that modest silver-colored disc could be a hidden story waiting to be uncovered. While most examples carry only modest value, a rare and exceptional specimen with a dramatic mint error and strong collector demand has been known to reach values as high as $45,000.